Let's start in a nice gentle reclined shape first. So you'll take your towel, fold it in half, and then half again. And then from this rectangle, just roll it up nice and tight. So creating a cushion for yourself here. And then you'll put that long ways on your mat. And the goal is to support your upper spine and your shoulders and let your head gently fall off the end of the towel. Yeah? So you'll start to lay back. And just let the base of your skull come to the end of the towel. And legs can be knees together, feet wide, feet together, knees wide, or long, whatever you like. Any position that makes you the most comfortable. Hi, Alex. Who else am I seeing? Josh, is that you? Wonderful. Cool. So Alex and Josh, we are taking a towel. We are folding it up so that you're nice and supported. If you have blocks, you can use blocks too, or a pillow. And you're just going to prop this behind your shoulders so that you can recline. You'll gently let your head either be on the edge of the towel or fall off the edge of the towel. And I'm after that sensation of when I kind of put my fingertips at the base of your skull and pull it in a Shavasana assist. So nice shoulder opening here, heart opening. Just start to get comfortable and settle in. And then as you allow the body to get heavy, start to deepen your breath. Maybe just notice as the breath rises and falls. And also notice where the body is making connection to the earth here. Just try to get heavier in those places. So for Yin Yoga, we're really focusing on using the weight of the body, gravity, the support of our props, to allow bone to gently pull away from bone, in whatever area we're working, so that you can focus on exercising the connective tissue, right? Connective tissue fascia doesn't operate in the same way that muscular opening does. So through time and through this weightedness of the body, we can create more space. We can encourage little tiny tears in the fascia, little opening and breaking down of places that may have a little bit of scar tissue or just be tight, and re-moisturize those areas, creating new mobility in the body. So continuing to notice and deepen your breath here. Trying to go a little bit deeper into any of the areas that are still holding on. Taking a nice deep inhale through your nose, and sighing it out. Take your time. Since you're so low on a towel here, it may feel good to just kind of walk the feet and bend the knees and roll over to one side. Eventually coming up to a nice comfortable seat. Take your time, move slow. And when you get to the top of your seat, feel that your sitting bones can root a little bit here, that you can lift the chest. Maybe a little tuck of your chin to just heavy into the body a little bit more. Take a big breath in and let that go. And go ahead and just drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Let the head be heavy. Maybe that's plenty. Maybe you add the weight of the right hand. And you can keep the left hand in your lap here. Start to walk left fingertips on your floor, your mat. And if that's too much, you just bring it back in. Think about relaxing the right shoulder, the left shoulder. Big breath in. And out. Start to peek your gaze towards your right knee. And then gently spin your chin towards your right pectoral here, like you're trying to bring your chin into your shoulder. And then bring your hand to the back of the head. Just gently weight that down. So we move the stretch from the side of the neck to perhaps closer to your spine, maybe deeper into your shoulder blade. Big breath in and out. And then gently release your hand, heavy your chin to your chest. Just let the head hang heavy, maybe shake it out a teeny little bit. And then pick the head up. Good, bring your left ear to your left shoulder and just let it be heavy. Maybe adding the weight of the left hand. And not to pull, just to give yourself a little extra. Hand can stay in your lap or fingertips can walk. Breathing deep. One more inhale. And exhale. And then turn your chin so that you're looking towards your left knee. Again, chin tucking in towards your pectoral there. Hand moves to the back of your head. Just to help you gently coil in there. Again, moving the stretch from the side of the neck to closer to the spine. One more deep breath in. And out. And then releasing your hand gently, drop your chin to your chest. And tiny little movements there if you need. And let the head lift forward and then look up. Just give yourself a little stretch at the front of the throat here. You can even scrunch the face. No one's looking. And then let that go, look forward. Good. Go ahead and squeeze your shoulders by your ears. And just let them go. Nice. And then bring the soles of your feet to meet. So we'll come to a butterfly shape here. If it feels good to sit up on something, you're welcome to, right? You can kind of just move flush away from bone if that feels good. And then we'll round the spine here. So you can heavy your head and let it hang. Maybe you want your towel, which since it's rolled tightly, you can use as a pillow, either on the lower setting or the higher setting if you're feeling particularly tight today. So find a position where you can settle in. And just start to surrender to your shape. Maybe breathing a little deeper across the low back. Let the legs heavy where they are. Let the head heavy. And you can scan, maybe you can relax the forehead a little bit more here, unclench the teeth. And for any of these rounding, big back body shapes, we're working with the urinary bladder line, which is like the energetic bodyguard of the body. So feeling like perhaps I've added a weighted blanket over you or a heat lamp or whatever makes you feel really protected and cozy. And just breathe into that sensation. Take up a little bit more space with your breath. And let every exhale heavy you into this shape, into this relaxation space. deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out your mouth. Start to slowly roll the body up to a comfortable seat. Then go ahead and stretch your legs out long here. And you can give them a little shake out. You bend your knees a little here on the floor. And then sitting up as tall as you can by bending the knees here. And start to walk the fingertips forward. So you bring the belly to the thighs. And again, just heavying your head. You can take that towel roll however you like. You may want it underneath your knees. You can also thread your arms underneath your knees, creating a little container so that the legs don't splay out, right? And then sneak the heels as far forward as you like. Let the head go. And you can even kind of just cross the forearms on your shins here if that feels better for you to rest your head. And then give yourself a little scan. Notice where you can do less. Where can the body just heavy onto itself and help you let go? And it may feel good to gently rock the head side to side. It may feel good to kind of scrunch and release the face. Sending breath into your low back, into the back of the heart. Perhaps imagining drawing circles with the breath, letting inhales kind of zip up the back of the legs from heel to sitting bone. And then exhale, spreading long across the back of the neck, head heavy. Take a deep breath in and out. Start to slowly unwrap your arms, lengthen the spine. It may feel good to just step the feet in here, give yourself a little squeeze, sit up tall, maybe a little rock side to side. And then go ahead and swing the legs around behind you. Coming onto your hands and knees for a moment. And then we're going to walk the arms out for a puppy dog pose, or praying mantis as we call it in Yin. But go ahead and just cat-cow the spine for a moment here. Especially if this is the first movement you're taking today that starts to move your spine in new and interesting directions. Maybe a couple circles here with the hips if that feels good. Just take a few one way and then the other way. And then as you feel ready, returning hips over the knees. And then just start to walk the fingertips forward. So you're dropping the chest here, and you may want to bring your forehead to the towel or to the mat. You're just hammocking the body to create an opening across the top of the shoulders here. If it feels like it's too much, you can always just take child's pose, especially if you feel a shoulder stretch there. One way to soften it a little bit if it feels really acute is to bring the hands wider away, like you're drawing a bigger V between the shoulders and the hands. We won't be here too long. Just try to breathe a little bit more space into the back of the heart. Notice if this shape caused you to hold the breath at all. And see if you can find more softness, more space. Take a big breath in and out. And then go ahead and walk the body so that you're fully on your belly. You can prop up for a Sphinx pose. So bringing elbows underneath your shoulders here so that you're creating like a number 11 with the arms. Think about rolling shoulder blades puffing up the chest. This is a rare two-cat appearance, you guys. You're very lucky. Maybe walk the feet a little lighter, a little closer, whatever feels good in your low back. And then start to let the body sink into the shape. So instead of using your muscles to hold yourself up, start to let everything go. So there's a melting between the shoulders here, maybe a heavying of the head. You can rock it yes and no. You can bring one ear to your shoulder, whatever feels good. So we're just creating a little compression in the low back so that we have more release there when we come out of this shape. Maybe you notice where the breath feels a little restricted, belly on the floor. But can you find new space? Maybe breathing rib cage side to side, back of the chest. Taking one more deep breath in here. And then letting it go, slowly lowering your forehead down to the back of your hands. Maybe just wiggling your hips a little side to side. You can even bend your knees and windshield wipe legs side to side if that feels good. Beautiful. Then go ahead and just lift your gaze so you can see where I'm moving and then move in your own time, yeah? You'll stretch the right arm out long to a T, palm down. Use your left hand under your left shoulder to roll to your right side body. Legs can stay stacked or you can step the left foot back. Let the head be really heavy here. And then maybe wrap the left arm around behind you as well. So opening up the front of the chest to the shoulder. Good. And if it feels like the head is really lifted and you need some support, you can always grab your towel. If you feel like you need something in between your knees for support, again, coming back to that idea of towel, propping. And just breathe, go heavy, go deep. When we're opening up the chest in this way, we're working with the meridian lines of the heart, the pericardium, which is the fascia that surrounds the heart, and the lungs. So the heart manages joy, the lung manages grief, the pericardium helps manage your emotional boundaries. So for all of our yin shapes, if they start to feel emotional, if something starts to come up, just notice. Don't have to live in that space, right? Just breathe through. Taking one more deep breath in and out. Start to slowly release the right arm if it's behind you. Root into that hand to slow down the roll as you find your way back to your belly. And then maybe this time pressing the hips back to a child's pose so that you can just let everything heavy for a moment. And it may feel good to bring arms long by your sides instead. Giving the shoulders a rest. Maybe taking a little rock side to side, rolling out the forehead. Nice, Yogi. Then as you're ready, go ahead and gently walk the hands back into the body. So just sitting on the heels for a moment. That may be plenty, right? We're stretching out the top of the feet here. Need a little more. Walk fingertips behind you. Start to lean back a little bit. And again, that may be plenty. Maybe you start to lift the hips and stretch the front of the thighs here. A little quadricep love. And then gently sink the seat to the heels again. So we'll come onto hands and knees. We're transitioning to sleeping swan or pigeon in a vinyasa practice, right? So give yourself a lot of space to draw that right knee behind your right wrist, nice and wide. And then tuck your left toes, start to scoot your left knee back a lot. And you may want to take your towel. My cat's undid my roll. But you can take that roll underneath your pelvis here to give yourself support and keep yourself nice and lifted. Yeah, it may also feel good to take that kind of really underneath the right hip specifically, or if you feel a lot of tension under the left knee, under that back leg. Yeah, whatever you need. And then you'll start to lower down to forearms. Maybe head hangs, maybe you rest the forehead on the arms. You can also walk fingertips further forward here, let the chest start to lower, the head start to lower. If you have couch cushions or more soft things available, you can grab them, bunch them up under your chest or forehead. Whatever makes this the most sustainable for you. And then just starting to settle into your shape. See if you can allow the body to relax in a little deeper. This doesn't have to be your most extreme version of this ever, right? Let your yin practice be a little softer, a little more sustainable. This shape tends to be a doozy for a lot of us, right? Hip opening, very emotional. We're working with the lines of the liver and the kidney, which are anger and fear. So if you start to get frustrated with this at all, aim that at me. I can take it, but not at you. Breathe deeper. Got about 1 more minute here. Maybe bring your awareness back to the breath and kind of trace the breath through the body. Where there's still tiny knots holding on, can you kind of pull one thread and loosen that up? And then deep breath in. Deep breath out. Start to take your time, walk your hands into your body. Finding your way out of your shape. Maybe even just lengthening the right leg. Take a little pulse there, stretching it out. And as you're ready, gently tap the right knee down. Any tiny movements you need always, yes. Or maybe a seat for stillness. Then as you're ready for the left side of your sleeping swan, left knee comes behind your left wrist nice and wide. Tuck the right toe, scoot the right knee back, let the hips start to drop. And before you go deeper, just assess, notice if you want support anywhere. Yeah, use your towel, use your couch pillows, whatever you have. And start to lower down. This is a different hip, so it may be a completely different experience, right? Maybe it's less, maybe it's more. Both are okay, right? We don't have to be symmetrical. Just working towards balance. And you can support the chest here or the forehead. And just start to let yourself settle in. Second side, sometimes more challenging because we spent so much time working on the first. Let yourself arrive here right now and be present with what's going on in this moment. Be compassionate. Try to praise the mutilated world. Remember June's long days and wild strawberries, drops of rosé wine, the nettles that methodically overgrow and abandon homesteads of exiles. You must praise the mutilated world. You watched the stylish yachts and ships. One of them had a long trip ahead of it, while salty oblivion awaited the others. You've seen the refugees going nowhere. You've heard the executioners sing joyfully. You should praise the mutilated world. Remember the moments when we were together in a white room and the curtain fluttered. Return in thought to the concert where music flared. You gathered acorns in the park in autumn and leaves eddied over the earth's scars. Praise the mutilated world and the gray feathers a thrush lost, and the gentle light that strays and vanishes and returns. Final minute of this shape. Try to send the breath on a little journey. What needs your last moments of attention here? Where can you go deeper? breath in. Let it go. Take your time, slowly find your way out of your shape. And perhaps that's back to hands and knees and it's left leg long this time, just pedaling and lengthening out the leg. And then after you're through wiggling, go ahead and take a seat on your heels for a moment. I'm going to show you where we're going and then you can move your body. Okay. So if you're using a yoga mat, you're going to turn so that you're on it horizontally. You may want to unroll that towel. Even like fold it in half, maybe even twice that, and bring that underneath your knees. Yeah? So from here, you're going to slowly walk the knees wide of each other. Thank you, Loki. Good view. So you're going to cheat the toes out wide so that the arches of the feet are down. So this is frog pose. So you'll bring the knees as wide as they feel comfortable coming. Yes. Then you can lower down to your forearms. So you may already be feeling a sensation on the inside of the legs. The more you walk the hands forward and press the hips back, the more thoroughly you'll feel this. Yeah, and then you heavy the head, let it go. And if for whatever reason that's too much, it just doesn't feel good or it doesn't feel sustainable, a nice wide-legged child's pose will give you a very similar sensation, just a lighter version. These look good, yogis. Big deep breaths. Remember, you can always grab a pillow or two and bring them underneath your chest or your forehead if that's useful. You've got this, yogis. Just a few more breaths here. So where we had compression of liver and kidney lines before, now we've brought those lines into tension. I know you're so glad. With words you never speak. Breathe in. Breathe out. Start to walk hands back in towards your body. Pick up your hips. Bring your feet together. And that should be enough to be able to walk out of this. Then spin legs around, come to your back. Just windshield wipe your knees side to side for a moment. And then let the legs fall over to the left. Cactus your elbows here, and that may be plenty. May feel good to bring the left foot over the right thigh. Breathe. Big breath in. Big breath out. Slowly bringing knees back through center. Take your time. Again, come back to that windshield wiping side to side. That just gentle twisting out, washing out of low back, evening. And then let the legs fall over to the right. Nice and heavy, maybe cactusing arms, letting shoulders be heavy. It may feel good to bring the right foot over the left thigh. Just take a moment here to feel gravity, the floor, whatever's underneath you, supporting you. Maybe tracing the areas of the body that are making contact here. When we bring our awareness to proprioception, to noticing where the body is in space, helps the nervous system drop in a little bit, helps us soften. Gives the mind a real check-in to the fact that we're safe, that we're grounded, that we're held. Big breath in and out. Gently finding your way back center here. Maybe hugging knees into the chest this time, just drawing some circles there, whatever feels good. Knees wide of each other will help outer hips a little bit more. Knees working together focuses low back space. You can do a combo of both. And then when you're ready, go ahead and flex your feet up towards the ceiling. You can bring the back of the arms to the mat and just press your palms lightly on the thighs, just giving them a little spot to kind of prop and connect. You can soften the knees as much as you need here, right? This can be really soft, heavy legs, or lengthening the legs will give you a little bit more of a tug of fascia in the back line. Maybe pointing the feet and flexing the feet, drawing circles with the ankles if that feels good. If they're not there already, allowing legs to be hips distance here so that the weight of the legs kind of brings the femur bone home to socket. Really good work, Elise. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Start to let the legs sink here. And you can hold behind the thighs for happy baby or reach for outer edges of your feet. Knees can kind of come outside the arms here if that's useful to you. Think about letting the head be as heavy as the tail. Maybe this shape starts to rock side to side. Maybe it stays still and everything's just weighting down. Take a big breath in and out. And then gently release your hands from your feet. Cross the right knee over the left. And that may be plenty. Maybe you're just hugging the knees into the body in this shape. Maybe you can kind of reach for ankles like they're bicycle handlebars. Try to draw the feet away from each other and towards you. So you're tying yourself in a little bow. Keep the tail heavy, the head heavy. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more inhale. And exhale. Unwrap it, come all the way back to your variation of happy baby, legs just heavy or holding somewhere. Maybe a little rock. And we'll tie that little knot again, this time bringing left knee over right. So cross it can be as simple as just hugging the legs in here. You'll still feel the IT band, the outer hip. Or maybe you're flexing feet, reaching for ankles, drawing feet away from each other and then towards you. Keep allowing the low back to heavy on the mat or the floor. Breathing spaciousness into those areas that naturally hold here. Big breath in and out. Again, release last time to your variation of happy baby. If it feels good to kind of lengthen out each leg here, feel free to let it be looser. And then go ahead and drop the feet. You can lengthen legs out if that feels good for a moment. Give them a little windshield wipe of the feet. And then gently bring the soles of the feet to meet. The closer they are to the body, the more you're likely to feel this in your hips. Yeah, remember you can bring pillows underneath your knees if you need support. Bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your chest. Start to notice and deepen your breath. We'll take a little 3-part breathing exercise here. So take a big breath in through your nose. Sigh it all out your mouth. Then as you inhale, notice the belly fill up underneath the palm. Sip in a little more air. Feel the rib cage expand side to side. Sip in just a little bit more. Feel the chest rise under the palm. And then exhale top to bottom, chest, rib cage, belly. Again, inhale, fill up the belly, nice and large. Sip in a little more air, rib cage expands. A little more, chest lifts. Exhale, top to bottom, chest, rib cage, belly. So maybe you take a few more rounds with your breath. And whenever it's not serving you, you let it go. Just tracing inhales as they rise and as they fall. Letting the breath soften and return to natural if you haven't already. Finish your last round. And then give your knees one more big squeeze into your chest, just big hug. And then let them go, legs nice and long and wide, arms long by your sides. Setting up for your Shavasana, and you may want to blanket over the body, a blanket behind the knees or the head. Just let everything heavy and still. And if you need tiny wiggles or a big stretch before you do that, of course, take what you need. world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teethe at the corners. They scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women. At this table we gossip, recall enemies and the ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they pull and put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor falling down selves, and as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We have given birth on this table and have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray for suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating of the last sweet bite. Beginning to deepen your breath. Inviting tiny movements back to your body. It may feel good to stretch arms long overhead or lengthen your legs. It may feel good to bend the knees and roll over to one side. Just take your time. Slowly find your way up to a comfortable seat. Good. And as you arrive, gently bring one hand over your heart and then the other hand over that. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out your mouth. Take a moment. Thank yourself for showing up, for taking practice today. And I thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other in this new reality. We'll bow to seal. Namaste.